Hello everyone, thank you for joining us today on this Wednesday, and welcome to this educational presentation of Specialist Trading's Triple Threat of Trading. Now I'm going to talk about today three of our most popular as well as powerful strategies, and they form this very successful synergy when they're all used in conjunction. But before we show you some examples of that, I'd like to start out by talking about the market conditions currently. As we all know, the market's been making new highs as of late, but it wasn't long ago that we really fell into a bit of trouble where the market was really in a very strong downtrend. A lot of people, all of a sudden, their trading methods or techniques automatically stopped working when the market changed environments. Now, as we see here, this was reported in December of last year, just about 4 months ago, that U.S. stocks suffered their worst year since 2008 financial crisis, okay? So the markets really fell out of bed at the end of the year and coming into January. As we see here, prior to that, we had a very nice run-up. As you can see, the market was going nicely up for most of 2018, and then we had this very strong downward move. Here's the beauty of the triple threat. The triple threat is a very highly consistent synergy. In other words, we combine these three methods, and it will generate signals along the way up and along the way down. So you're always in sync with whatever environment the market chooses. Now, it's not that complicated because Pro Trader Strategies and myself have put together our platform, the PTS Primo Charting platform. It's the educational platform that makes it simple to trade the triple threat. So I don't want you to think it's very complicated when you're combining three of our different methods and techniques together. It's actually extremely simple, and I'll show you how simple it is in today's presentation. So welcome once again. My name is Steven Primo, president and founder of Specialist Trading, and I teamed up with Pro Trader Strategies just about 10 years ago, where our only goal was simply to educate traders. In our opinion, our philosophy is the main reason why most traders fail is because they're really taking themselves out of the game. They're not making their own proper trading decisions. So what happens when you don't make your own decision? Well, you rely on someone in a chat room or some guy on TV or some magical indicator or some class that you pay $10,000 for to make all your decisions for you. And in my opinion, that's a recipe for disaster, and the way to prove that is to look at the statistics. It's been really estimated that upwards of 80 to 85% of all traders fail. And I really think that's the main cause, because you're taking yourself out of the game. Once you have the proper education and the proper confidence to actually make your own decisions, that's when you get on the road to consistency. And that's what I believe the gap we fill at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. We provide you with sound fundamental education that has stood the test of time. And I'll share that with you today and show you how simple it actually is to apply. But before we begin, once again, as always, we are required to show you this, so please take a moment to view our required disclaimer. I'm going to show you a lot of performance results, different markets, different time frames by applying our triple threat. But please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And also please remember that all examples are strictly displayed for educational purposes only. At this time, after you view our disclaimer, I would also like to invite each and every one of you to follow us on Twitter. There's our handle, abbreviation for Specialist Trading. I post different information on a daily basis. Today I posted some great education on Bitcoin. I know that Bitcoin has been taking off as of late. And the funny thing is, about 3 months ago, we educated our Twitter followers as well as our students and said that there was most likely some rumblings going on in Bitcoin, and it was a chance to get long because our signals were generating a lot of buy signals. So lots of great free information on Twitter. Feel free to follow us at SPCLST-TRADG. Okay, so once again, as I stated earlier, we are different from other presentations and presenters you may have seen in the past in the fact that we're only here to teach you. Our only goal is to educate you as a trader. We don't promise to have some system that never fails, or we don't promise to make you a great pro trader in 6 months and you'll retire in the next year. In fact, we don't believe in that. We just are here to educate you, because education is what will sustain you. Now, 42 years ago, when I first started trading, I was taught the same things, and I believe they're the cornerstone to my education and what has really sustained me going on 42 years now. So as you can see, my goal is not to force feed you signals, not to tell you the perfect time frame, the perfect market. My goal is simply to teach you how to trade with the specialist edge, the same edge that was taught to me. Hopefully, you'll be able to trade 20, 30, 40 years down the road yourself. Okay? Now, since this is an educational class, please ask me as many questions as possible, but I ask that you kindly wait till the end to ask questions so we don't have to be here 3 or 4 hours by pausing for every slide to ask a question. My only question that I will answer is the most common one, and that is this being recorded? Yes, it is. So if you have to leave early, or if you're having technical difficulties, don't worry. We will send each and every one of you a link to this recording. Okay, so we have a good crowd here today. If you happen to join us late, thank you all for joining us, and please reserve the questions till the very end. All right, so with that stated, let us begin today's presentation. We're going to be talking about the 3 threats, so let's get right into it. Threat number 1 is strategy number 4, probably our most consistent strategy to date. Let me share with you some of the highlights of this particular method. Designed for traders looking to catch momentum. Okay, now usually it catches this momentum either on pullbacks or on some type of consolidation where the market is kind of going sideways. All right, now it does that through a pattern recognition. We teach you what this pattern is. I've been trading this pattern for roughly 42 years now. I was trading it this morning. I continue to trade it. It's a great pattern, and that is the basic format of the strategy. It only uses one indicator. That's how simple our tools and strategies are. It only uses the 50-period moving average, okay? Remember, this past performance is not indicative of future results. These examples are strictly for educational purposes only. So here's an example in INTC. As you can see, where most traders would think, well, we're in a downtrend, the price is headed lower, I probably want to sell this, right? While strategy 4 has discerned that this is simply a pullback in an overall uptrend, and that price is pulling back. A buy signal was generated here, and it was off to the races after that, okay? Another example here in a sell. Price has been going up. Most traders would say, well, wait, you got to buy this, right? Apple's going up, we got to buy this. Well, not really, because this is just a pullback in an overall downtrend. Sell signals generated, and the stock goes quickly down, okay? We can also use it here in GM. Price once again is declining. Most traders would think you got to step out of the way or don't buy it or look for a place to get out. 2 signals were actually generated right here, one on the low and then another one, and the stock took off. So that's the beauty of strategy number 4. Really highly consistent, can transfer it over onto any market, any time frame, and is designed to look at this pattern and to pick out prices that have gone lower for buy setups or are in a consolidation mode. Now, that's threat number 1. Let's go to threat number 2. This is strategy number 5. All right, this is another great strategy, but it's entirely different rules than threat number 1 or strategy number 4. Let's look at some of the highlights. It's a non-traditional candlestick method, so it's really based on candlesticks. Now, this may be applied to all candlestick patterns, and the beauty of this particular strategy is that whereas strategy 4 looks for sell-offs or consolidation to get in, strategy number 5 is one of those great methods where once the stock or the currency pair or the future is taking off in a really strong trend, it will generate setups all along the way. So if you like to buy on breakouts or buy on continuation, it's a great continuation method. It also only uses one indicator, the 50-period moving average. Remember, past performance, not indicative of future results. These examples are for educational purposes only. So, as we can see, letter O has taken off strongly. It's got a really strong move where most people would say, well, it's time to pull back. This is kind of strong resistance right here. It generates a buy signal towards the top, and look at the stock go. Now, the beauty of it is if you have a strong enough trend in place, well, it will continue to generate strategies all along the way. Let's look at this example right here. Now, CTL was kind of going higher to sideways. A sell signal was generated, and the stock took off to the downside. Now, if you miss that, once again, with a strong enough trend, strategy number 5 will continue to generate signals all along the way. Now, here we have Facebook, an older chart of Facebook last year. We had a gap up. Most people will think, well, we're kind of hitting some strong resistance here. The institutions are selling. Strategy number 5 generated 2 buy signals right towards the high of that move. And look what happened. If you miss those, well, the beauty of strategy 5, it will continue to generate buy signals in a strong trend. Now, while losses may be inevitable, remember, not everything is guaranteed. In fact, it's my opinion that if someone guarantees you that they have a method or a strategy or a technique that never loses, or has never lost in the last 10 years, I always tell my students to run. Because I've been trading for 42 years, and some of the best traders I've known lose, and there's nothing wrong with that. They have no problem about losing. What they want is a method that's able to recoup those losses. As long as they feel confident in their method being able to recoup, and sooner than later, well, then there's no problem with having a loss. That's okay. Let me show you exactly what we mean here. Here in ZTS is a strategy number 5, buy signal, all right? Now, look what happens. It didn't work out. So you would have lost money on that trade. Or what about this one in letter M? Here's a strategy number 4, sell signal. All right, looks pretty good. It's a pullback, selling here at the top, and it goes higher. So once again, while losses may be inevitable, there is still a way to filter many of them out. And this brings us to threat number 3. This is the PET-D. You've heard me speak about it before. Probably our most powerful tool, not strategy, but tool we have at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. So what exactly is the PET-D? Well, it can be used in dozens of different ways. For example, it's firstly a proprietary algorithm. We're keeping the formula in-house, but that's to your benefit because it's something you have to calculate per bar. It gets a little cumbersome after a while. So we've taken all that work out of it for you, and we've turned it into a color bar algorithm. So it's a short-term trend identifier using these colors. It also is the color bar tool, which generates many different setups. And we teach this in our courses, all the different ways in which to apply it. But we think one of the best ways to apply it, and the way in which it is exemplified as threat number 3, is as a signal confirmation tool. So as you see here, this is the way most people will determine if something is in a trend. Okay, they'll probably around this juncture right here say, okay, it's made higher highs, lower highs, so I'm going to buy somewhere around here. And then this happens, right? So let me show you how powerful the PET-D is. If we apply the PET-D color bar tool, we see that the green bars tell you you're in a short-term uptrend. The red bars just translate that you're in a short-term downtrend. So you would have known well in advance, instead of way up here, but way back here, that you were in an uptrend. And you would have known well in advance that the trend had changed. You could have exited or gone short. So as I stated, there are literally dozens, if not hundreds, of ways to apply the PET-D, and we teach these to our VIP students. But probably the best and simplest way to apply them is as threat number 3, as I stated before, as a signal confirmation tool. So how exactly does that work? How does this fit in to our triple threat? Well, here's how we apply it for buy setups. We're only going to trade strategy 4 and strategy 5 buy signals that are colored green. In other words, when a signal is generated, there's usually a green arrow below it. All right, that is just telling you as an educational tool that that's a valid buy setup in strategy 4 or 5. We also want to see that bar either colored green in the inside or outlined green. That's it. That's all it takes. Now, sells are the opposite. When a sell is generated with strategy 4 or 5, there's usually an arrow on top of it, a red arrow. We want to see that bar that's corresponding to that arrow either painted red or outlined red. And that's it. That's all we need. We don't care about what the color was of the previous bars. All we care about is that one specific bar. That's the confirmation from the PET-D telling us that it either wants to go higher or lower. It's a great way to filter out these trades that don't work out. All right, so once again, we look at that other trade in ZTS where we had a buy signal and then it went down. What if we had applied threat number 3, the PET-D? All right, in order for this to work, it would have had to have been outlined green because it's an up day, so the bar is open. And as you can see, it was outlined red. So you never would have taken that trade and you would have saved some money. What a great filter. Now, strategy number 4 generated a sell signal, letter M. All right, you would have thought that was a great pullback, selling at the high before it went lower. But let's see how the triple threat could have helped us. Remember, for a sell signal, we need the PET-D to color that bar red. So it's as simple as going to our green strategy tab, clicking on PET-D, and the bars automatically change. Now, what color is this? Even though it's a down day, as you can see by the bar being colored, it is a green color. So that means the market is telling you, it's translating that it really wants to go higher. This was just a down day in an overall short-term uptrend. So you don't want to sell against the short-term uptrend. You would not have taken that trade and therefore not have lost a lot of money. You see how this triple threat can really increase your odds for consistency. When we combine these three methods together, we get what we call specialist trading's triple threat, because it really is. Each one of the signals individually coming from the strategies has a high level of consistency, but we increase that consistency even more when we add the PET-D as a signal confirmation tool. So let's show you some more examples of how powerful this actually is in the real market. All right, so here's an example in PSA. We have the market going up. Strategy 5 generates a buy signal. Let's add threat number 3, the PET-D, just to confirm it. And as you can see, it's outlined green. Remember, it's outlined green because the day is up. We're using the hollow candle bars. So the day is up, the backdrop will be white, but the outline will be green. So that's telling you that we're in a short-term uptrend. And it's okay to take this setup, 10 points in the next week or two. How about Zion, okay? Market's kind of going sideways in a consolidation pattern here. We have a valid strategy number 4 setup, but let's just say we need some more confidence to take this trade. We're not sure, the market's making new highs, we're kind of frightened to sell. Let's add the PET-D. You click on the PET-D in the upper green strategy tab, and the bars automatically change. Now, do we want to sell a bar that's colored green? No, we want to sell a bar that's colored red. So you wouldn't take that trade. Now, let's see what happened on the following bar. Well, another sell signal was generated, and this one is colored red. So remember, the PET-D and even the triple threat is not designed to get you in at the bottom or the top. It's just designed to give you consistency. So the first trade was not confirmed. That's okay, but the second one was. Don't be like most traders and say, well, I can't sell here. It's down now. That was a very tough lesson for me to learn from my mentors, because I had trouble doing that. I said, boy, I didn't buy at the bottom. Now you want me to buy while it's going higher? And they say, the market wants to go higher, so what does it matter? You're just jumping on board in the right direction. So it took me a while to get over that, but now it's kind of simple. So you have to get over the fact that you can only sell at the top or buy at the bottom. You just want to do what the market wants to do. And the market confirmed that it wanted to go lower by the PET-D coloring this red. So you sell, and you still would have made 8 points to the downside. And you would have gotten in while the market continued to go lower and lower. Let's look at GM. Remember, we showed that example. We had this cluster of buy signals. What if you're a little frightened to take that? Well, click on the PET-D. They have to be colored green. And yes, not only were these 2 bars colored green, but all the bars have been colored green. So that will give you the confidence to take the trade in any which way or form you want to. Buy the puts, buy an odd lot, buy the actual stock for a long-term hold. It's up to you. But the stock went up 5 points in the next week. How about the spiders? Okay, here's another example of a sell signal in a kind of consolidation pattern, where most people would say, well, Steve, we're not really going down yet, and plus it closed near its lows. I can't sell here. Well, remember, we're not trying to pick tops and bottoms. That's a gambling mentality. We're trying just to be in sync with the market and listen to what the market's telling us. So based off the pattern we teach you in strategy number 4, the pattern is saying this is a highly consistent setup to go short. And now, is the PET-D confirming that? Well, we click on the PET-D, and yes, it is. So now you have a high probability sell setup. Not guaranteed, but a very high probability. And the spiders went down 38 points. This is when the market was falling out of bed, and everyone was wondering, what happened? The market changed environments. How come I'm losing money now? Remember, our strategies generate buy signals in uptrends and sell signals in downtrend. We are always going to be doing what the market wants to do. We are never going to try and pick a bottom or pick a top. That's a gambling mentality. And sure, it may work every once in a while, just like the casinos. But usually if you stay long enough at the slot machine, you wind up giving everything back. That's the exact same environment if you trade tops and bottoms. You'll have a winner every once in a while, but if you do that continuously, you'll most likely give everything back. Take it from someone who tried to trade that way 42 years ago. It just over time doesn't work in terms of being consistent. AVGO, okay, here's a strategy number 5, buy signal. How do we confirm that? We add the PET-D, and even though the previous bars were red, this bar is outlined green, so it's okay to buy. The stock goes up 20 points in the next week, all right? Still not a bad trade, even though it closed up higher. How about ROST? All right, this is what we call a cluster or double signal. We have two little arrows here, that means you have a strategy number 4 and a strategy 5 sell setup. So you're getting confirmation of both strategies. Now we just want to confirm that the PET-D is saying that we're in a downtrend, because after all, we've been going up here. How can we be in a downtrend? Well, we had the PET-D, and even though we've been going up for the last 4 or 5 days, look at the color of the bars. They've all been red. So what is the market telling you? It's telling you not to get sucked in because this is a fake rally. This is really a pullback in an overall downtrend. So you should be looking at this as a selling opportunity rather than a buying opportunity, because the PET-D is translating that the market is still in a downtrend. Even though you have up days here, they're all outlined red. So we have a sell signal confirmed by the PET-D for both strategy 4 and 5, and the stock went down 10 points, okay? You see the beauty of combining all these three things together. And once again, if you missed that, there's more signals all along the way. Now, here's a weekly chart of Apple, okay? Apple, all the bars are green. Even though the market's been going lower on the weeks, the previous weeks, it has all been colored green, either on the up weeks or the down weeks. So this is telling you that we've kind of been going sideways in an overall uptrend. So you don't want to look at this as a selling opportunity. You want to look at it as a buying opportunity on a weekly time frame. So strategy 4 generated a buy signal. It's confirmed by the PET-D, 47 points in the next couple of months, okay? Now, remember we started off, or I should say I tweeted talking about QQQs. This is one of the things I tweeted, where how were these signals generated? Well, very simply, you would click on strategy 4 and strategy 5 to see if signals were generated. You have the PET-D in a nice strong uptrend, and then you have a nice strong downtrend. Now you just click on the signals. Here was a buy signal using strategy number 5, 12 quick points in the next couple of weeks, or next couple of months, I should say. And now now that the trend went down, you click on strategy number 5 again, and there's a sell signal right here for 16 points. See, trading is simple when you're not trying to buck the trend. It's a lot, you're going to expend a lot more energy, and you won't have as many restful nights. You'll probably have a lot more sleepless nights when you're trying to buck the trend. You sleep a lot better when you swim with the current at your back. Here's a monthly chart of Tiffany. We looked at weekly charts. Here's a monthly chart. Now, here was a buy setup that didn't work. Obviously, you would have bought here, and look what happened. It went down on the monthly time frame. So in the next 6 to 8 months, you would have lost money. Now here's another sell signal, and then you're thinking, well, gosh, now that it's starting to go back up, I don't want to buy when it goes down and sell when it goes up. So let's see what the PET-D can tell us to help us out. Well, we apply the PET-D, threat number 3, and you're right. The buy signal was outlined red, so you never would have taken that, and the sell signal was outlined green, so you never would have taken that. So you would have saved yourself a lot of money on this one and a lot of money on this one, okay? That's the beauty of trading in sync with the triple threat. You have strategies that have high levels of consistency, but you also have a filter in the form of the PET-D confirming the signals. Now, once all the bars were sustained green, now you start looking for buy setups. And guess what? There was a buy setup, strategy number 4, on this little 3 or 4 month pullback, and you still could have generated a 40-point gain in this particular market. I know everyone doesn't trade monthly bars. Let's go to a 15-minute time frame. Here's a chart in Tesla. As you can see, we have a pullback in place, and then price starts to go up. A strategy 4 buy signal is generated, a high probability setup. We confirm it with the PET-D, and even though all the bars previous to it were red or outlined red, this one is green. So it's giving us the confidence to go long Tesla on a 15-minute time frame, 30 points in the next day. All right, you think you would have liked to take advantage of that on a 15-minute time frame? Okay. Now remember, in our courses, we give you all the different exit points, entry points, and stop placement. I'm just not sharing those with you today. It wouldn't be fair to the people who are already in our course. So don't worry. I know a lot of you are thinking, well, this is great, Steve, but where do I get out? Well, remember, we're here to educate you. So ultimately, it's your decision, but we provide you with numerous ways to exit. And then you just go through the online videos and courses to decide which one works best for you. Once again, when you have a strong trend, don't worry, strategy 5 will oftentimes generate signals in that trend. There were 2 buy signals right here. So let's recap before we go to question and answer. And also, I want to tell you about a great offer I have for all of you today. Remember, Our first threat is strategy number 4. It's a pattern recognition strategy, probably our most consistent strategy to date. It generates more signals than any strategy we have. It's only using one indicator because it's based on looking for this pattern that we teach you how to spot in the course. Now, the beauty of strategy number 4 is that many times you'll be buying at lower prices because it generates signals either in pullbacks or in consolidation patterns. Okay, so it's a great strategy designed to catch momentum. That's threat number 1. Threat number 2 is strategy number 5. Another great strategy based entirely off different rules. It's based on exploiting candlestick patterns. All right, we teach you exactly what to look for in the course. Now, the difference between this and strategy 4 is that where strategy 4 can often buy at the bottom or in a consolidation, strategy 5 is great for those markets you feel you've missed. How often do you say, gosh, this stock has been going up for the last 3 weeks. I didn't even know about it, and I missed it. Well, that's the beauty of strategy number 5. It will generate buy signals in strong uptrends. So it'll give you a second chance to get in. And the same way to buy puts or to go short in strong downtrends. Another great strategy, that's threat number 2. Now, even though these strategies have a very high level of consistency, remember, nothing is guaranteed. When we say consistency, I know most traders think, well, consistency means that, Steve, you have a winning strategy, right? Like it has a lot of winners. Sure, but really what consistency means is that you are aware that there will be losses from time to time. That's okay. That's perfectly admissible. There's nothing wrong with having losses. What's wrong is to have a method that hits a home run and then has a number or a string of losses where you give everything back. That's not a consistent method. That's pretty much like a roller coaster, or that, once again, is like the slot machines. You never want to be trading a method like that. What you want is a method that will have a small loss here or there, and then be able to recoup it. So you'll have a loss, recoup it. Have a loss, maybe another loss, recoup them on the next trade. That's consistency, a 2-step forward, 1-step back approach. And all of our levels, strategies have a high level of consistency. Now, is there a way to increase our odds for consistency to even higher levels so that we can filter out some of these losing trades? Yes, this is threat number 3, the PET-D. All right, the PET-D is our most powerful tool in the fact that you can use it in dozens, if not hundreds, of ways. I mean, it can be used for techniques for actually entering or exiting the market. It can be used as a stop placement. It can be used to tell you the short-term trend. It can be used for longer-term trends. It can also be used, as we use it here in the triple threat, as a signal confirmation tool. That, I believe, is one of its most powerful ways of using it. So when we combine all 3 of these really highly powerful methods, we have what we call Specialist Trading's triple threat of trading. So before you ask me questions, I want to ask you a question. Ask yourself honestly, do you think these 3 methods could have helped your trading could help your trading, I should say, for the remainder of the year? All right, the first quarter is over. All right, pretty soon, in a couple of months, we'll be halfway through the year. Do you think this can help you going forward? Because most likely, you're not anywhere near where you'd like to be, where the promises you made yourself at the end of the year, you're most likely not even close to meeting those. So how can we help you get on track to becoming a consistent trader? Well, we have a great offer for all the attendees today. We are going to offer you a great discount on our triple threat. This is the triple threat special of strategy 4, 5, along with the PET-D tool. You're going to get instant course access, detailed instruction, all of the entire course rules to all 3 of the different threats. You're going to be able to learn all the different entries, learn all the different exits, and all the different stops. Remember, we provide you with a multitude of different ways to enter, exit, and place your stops, because you are going to be in charge. As I said in the very first opening statements, our philosophy is to put you in charge, to have you make decisions. And the only way you can do that is by being provided with sound fundamental tools and education. So this is what we do. We're going to offer you our signal scanner. And this also comes, the PET-D course comes with 4 separate and individual trading techniques, entirely different from what I explained to you today. So you're going to get those as well. This includes all the add-ons if you have different platforms such as Metastock, MT4, Sierra Charts, Thinkorswim, NinjaTrader, all the most prominent and popular platforms, trading platforms. But here's, I think, one of the best things we're going to be offering with the triple threat special. we're going to give you 12 months of our platform. So even though you may have a platform you're using right now currently to do your trading with, you can be able to use our platform as well to get all this information, to generate the signals, to use the PET-D as a confirmation tool, as well as use dozens more techniques and offerings and features on the platform. We're going to throw in 12 months of the PTS Primo charting platform. All of the displayed, all the examples you saw today were coming from the PTS Primo charting platform. Here's what's included. All right, obviously you're going to get strategy number 4, strategy number 5, the PET-D directional tool, and everything is one click away. All right, you're not going to have to open up a strategy box, go searching through hundreds of strategies, then open up another box and go searching through those. It's one click away, as I showed you in our green strategy tab. You click on strategy 4, signals, and it's right there. You click on PET-D, and it's right there. Okay. You're also going to get our proprietary buy-sell line, where the PET-D tells you the short-term trend, the buy-sell line tells you the overall trend. When you combine these together, well, you even increase your odds for consistency even more. One of the best things about this, though, is we're throwing in our signal scanner. This is where on a nightly basis, or even intraday basis if you want, you can scan for strategy 4 and 5 setups as well as the PET-D. Let me show you what I mean here. All right, it's as simple as clicking on strategy 5. Excuse me. And then once you open up that drop-down menu on our platform, you just click on scan. All right. You'll get this drop-down window here, this drop-down screen. It'll enable you to punch up any market, any data list you'd like. We provide you with those as well. You can also create your own data list, whatever you want, of stocks in your little basket of trading. And if you see the green horizontal bars, that means a buy signal has been generated. You see the red, that means a sell signal has been generated. Let me share with you what you could have taken advantage of in this past quarter, okay? Remember, in January, Apple lost over $50 billion of its market value after warning of a rare revenue miss, okay? In fact, the stock plunged nearly 8% in extended trading. So this was a terrible sign. This was in January of this year, about 3 or 4 months ago. Now, most traders love to play the victim game. They'll look at this and go, gosh, you know, I bought Apple the day before or the week before. I wish I would have known this. I just lost a lot of money. Now I'm in this for the long haul, okay? They always love to be a day late and a dollar short. They love to blame some guy in a chat room or some guy on TV. And the reason why is because you've taken yourself out of the game. You haven't supplied yourself with the proper education. If you had the triple threat, here's what you could have found out. A strategy 5 sell signal was generated in the first week of December, a full month prior to that report. And if you had used our triple threat, you could have confirmed it and seen that not only was that bar colored red, but all the bars prior to that. So that was the market telling you, we're in a downtrend, a short-term downtrend. Why would you want to buy anything in a short-term downtrend? But that's like swimming upstream. Why would you want to go against the market trend? So if you finally learn your lesson, you say, okay, well, I guess I should be going in sync with that. Well, look for threat number 1 or threat number 2 signals. In this example, we have threat number 2 in the form of strategy number 5. So it generated a signal 28 points prior to that report coming out. So this is the beauty of the triple threat. Many times, it's been my experience anyway, and students have had testimonials and have come back and told me that these strategies in the triple threat will generate signals prior to a big news event. And oftentimes, not guaranteed, but oftentimes they'll be on the right side of that news event before it's even announced. So you could have scanned just 3 or 4 months ago for that in Apple and could have taken advantage of that with puts or actually shorted the stock. Or if you were in the stock long, you could have used this as a example to exit the trade. Now let's look at some other examples of how you can scan other markets. So remember, we showed you mainly stocks, but we have data for the futures, the currency pairs, for Bitcoin, all of the most prominent exchanges, the DAX, the European exchanges, the Indian markets, Toronto Stock Exchange, Chinese markets. So there's lots of great different information that we have. For example, here's the Canadian dollar. Now, the market is headed sideways to higher. You could have scanned and seen that, well, we have the PET-D in the last 4 or 5 bars has turned green. So that means the short-term trend is up. And once you scan for buy signals in the triple threat, you have 2 strategy number 5 buy signals. Well, had you taken any one of those signals, 350 pips potentially you could have generated in the next couple of weeks. Okay, that's about $3,500 per unit. That's a daily session of the Canadian dollar. Let's look at a 10-minute time frame of the E-minis. Okay, at this point, the 10-minute chart started turning red. So we now know that the short-term trend is down. You know, I don't care if somebody tells you, well, Steve, this is just a pullback. This is major support, major Fibonacci support. You got to buy here. It's going to go back up. If the bars are red, we do not want to buy. And once we do a scan for signals on a 10-minute time frame, we see we have another setup to go short here. So this is a great way to get in sync with even intraday trading. Because the futures went down 20 points, potentially you could have captured that. That's $1,000 per contract, potentially you could have captured. And remember, if you miss that, signals are being generated all along the way. Now, 12 months of the platform with this scanner usually runs close to $1,800. Remember, we're going to give you a great discount. We're not going to charge you that. We're not even going to charge you. We're throwing in 12 months entirely free. You're going to get all of this. One-click access, totally free. So let's break down this triple threat, okay? Remember, the triple threat is strategy number 4, and don't get fooled, even though it says stock strategy, it can be applied to any market, as I showed you earlier. You're going to get the candlestick strategy number 5, as well as the PET-D. Now, if you purchase the strategy number 4 individually, roughly cost you close to $700. If you purchase strategy number 5 individually, same price, close to $700. And the PET-D, which is the most powerful of all 3 of the threats, close to $3,000. Now, included with 12 months, the individual courses would be $43.85, and then you include the 12 months, you're actually bringing the price up to over $6,100, closer to $62. That's a lot of money, and in good faith, we don't want you to get to be one of our students having to spend that kind of money the way so many other courses do. So we're slashing the prices. We're not going to charge you for the platform. We're not going to charge you for strategies 4 and 5. We're only going to charge you for the PET-D. $29.95. That is a great, great offer. So that's a 50% discount, actually, $29.95. And we have payment plans available. But please remember, this is good for one day only. All right, so you basically have about 24 hours to think about this because this is a 50% discount. This is a great, great offer because we want you to finish out 2019 strong. This is a great way to get consistent to conclude the year. So once again, 2019 is nearly half over. Are you going to wait another year to become a consistent trader? So many students have told me this because a year from today, you will have wished you became a member of this course. They're so glad they became members of the Triple Threat. Why not come aboard? I will be your mentor. I will be there with you every step of the way. And included in this, you also get my personal email address. You can contact me anytime you like with questions, and I'll be there to answer them. I was answering questions this morning prior to today's presentation. So anytime you have a question, you can email me, even if it's on the weekend or the middle of the night, I will answer it as soon as possible. So remember, strategy number 4, strategy number 5, along with the PET-D tool, educational correspondence. This is our triple threat special. Here's how to take advantage of this. Contact my sister site, Pro Trader Strategies. They're in charge of all of the course pricing as well as discounts. You can either email them or you can call them directly if you're interested in getting a payment plan on that $29.95. They're willing to work with you for 24 hours. I would suggest doing that. Call them at 310-598-6677, and they would be more than happy to actually set up a payment plan for you. So for a small deposit, you don't have to come up with a $29.95. You can still be in the triple threat course and making monthly payments after making a small deposit, okay? Now that link you see at the very bottom will take you to the sign-up page. Also, there's more information. You have to copy and paste that onto your browser, but a live link has been posted in the chat box on the GoToWebinar column. So all you have to do is go there for a live link, okay? Now, as promised, I reserved the last 15 minutes or so for any questions. So if you have any questions, please, now is the time to do that. Just go to your question and answer box, type them in, and I will be happy to answer all of them, okay? Alstar, hello. Alstar is asking, what does the PET-D stand for? I mean, like how the letters ADX stand for the Average Directional Movement Index. May I know what the PET-D stands for? Sure you will. There's no secret about that. First of all, let me give you a little background history. When I first started trading this roughly 4 decades ago, we used to refer to it as the formula because it was an actual formula we had to calculate on a nearly tick-by-tick basis. It wasn't really complicated. It was just cumbersome, and it just was something that we had to find out, because on the floor we were in and out of positions in about 5 minutes and 10 minutes. So the PET-D helped us tremendously with intraday bars. But, it wasn't something that, I wanted to, have our students have to calculate on a tick-by-tick basis. It would be far too cumbersome. I know no one would apply it that way. So rather than just give people the formula and say, here's a formula, good luck with it. I know it's going to take a lot of time on your part, and, best of luck. We had, with the help of high-speed computers and with programmers, we designed it into a proprietary color bar algorithm. And we had to give it a name. We just didn't want to call it the formula. So it stands for, the PET-D stands for the Primo Early Trend Detector, because that's basically one of its most basic applications. It tells you the early trend. But what it really is a translator. The PET-D is simply that. It translates what the market wants to do on a tick-by-tick basis. It does not predict what the market wants to do. And it is not a strategy. It's not giving you buy signals and sell signals. It is simply translating on a tick-by-tick basis what the market wants to do. Because if you think of it, the market is really speaking a different language. And our trouble is that we don't know how to speak that language. So rather than trying to learn, why don't we just get someone to translate it for us? That's what the PET-D does. The beauty of it is that it can translate in any market, in any time frame, in any direction. So although we call it the Primo Early Trend Detector, it's really a translator, okay? I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Ricky says, in this case, or in many cases, I see here shown here, after applying the PET-D test, the chart followed the given signal for at least 10 candles, usually more. What percentage of times does the PET-D get it wrong? Well, Ricky, the only way to add or apply percentages or statistics is for someone to trade it the exact same way every time and to use it the exact same way every time, on the exact same time frame and on the exact same market. And then we would have the manpower as well as the computer power to apply statistics on every time frame, every tick bar, every method, there are literally dozens, if not hundreds of ways to apply it. And then literally dozens, if not hundreds of ways in different markets or time frames. We're not a statistical company. So I always tell people, the beauty of the PET-D is just it's a high probability tool to help you be in sync. And that's really all you need, because you need something to help you get in sync. Then we teach you the proper way to use it. Now, you don't have to use the bars to tell you, I think you're looking at the bars to tell you how long the trend's going to last, because once you get a signal, in the course, we provide you with upwards of 7 different exit points. So regardless of what the PET-D is after you get into a setup, you can now go back to the exit points. And we also provide you with trailing stops. We can use this as a stop placement. So like as I stated, there are hundreds of ways to apply it. We can't give statistics on each and every one, and we wouldn't want to, because in our opinion, statistics once again take you out of the game. You start to rely on something the way you would rely on some guy in a chat room or some guy on TV, and then once again, what have you done? You've taken yourself out of the game. You have to be a part of the process. But we teach you, the good news is we teach you those in the course, okay? That's a great question, though. Thank you for asking that, Rick. Any other questions? Remember, a lot of students say, well, Steve, I'm used to TradeStation or I'm used to Metastock. There's nothing wrong with that. You can still have a couple of platforms on your screen. I do. I use a couple, one for trading and, where I enter my trades, and another one for education, which is the platform. And I toggle back and forth between the signals, seeing what the PET-D is doing, looking for other things. So, we will furnish you with the add-ons for those platforms so that you get the up and down arrows, so that you get the bars coloring different colors because of the PET-D. But trust me, we devised, Pro Trader Strategies and myself devised it to make it simple. I've used these things on other platforms, and it's good, it's okay, but it is nowhere near the ease of access the way we have it on our platform. It's just so simple. It's one click away. You don't have to open up a box, go searching through strategies, go searching through methods, go down to 50 list stock of applications. Then once you do that, then click it on, then hit OK. By the time you do that, you may have missed a trade. With the platform, it's right there. So you're getting 12 months of our premium platform for free entirely free, okay? Then after that, I believe the price goes to, you have to check with Pro Trader Strategies, but I believe the standard price is $97 per month, which is still extremely inexpensive. Most of our students decide to come back and continue to use after 1 year the platform because it helps them that much, okay? This is a great, great offer, a great way to get on board with your trading. I can't think of a better way. These are two of our most consistent strategies, along with our most powerful tool, Specialist Trading's Triple Threat, okay? Take advantage of this. Contact Pro Trader Strategies. And once again, we've discounted the price, but we realize that even with that 50% discount, $29.95 may still be out of reach for some of our prospective members. Don't worry. Pro Trader Strategies will be happy to work with you, establishing some type of payment plan for a small deposit. You can still be up and running as early as today, but you must act soon before that price goes back up to over $6,000. We don't want you paying that much, okay? So act soon. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate calling Pro Trader Strategies at the number given in 310-598-6677. They would be happy to answer any questions concerning prices and discounts and payment plans. And there's absolutely no obligation. You can call them for questions and not feel obligated to purchase anything. They would be happy just to make sure that you totally understand the process, okay? As we conclude, I just want to say thank you so much. I hope you really fully understand our triple threat of trading and see how powerful it can be and help you with your trading. And most especially, I look forward to all of you becoming students of mine at Specialist Trading and Pro Trader Strategies. Thank you so much. I hope to see you in the triple threat of trading courses. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.